The Healthy Aging and Longevity HALO Project is a research initiative by the Faculty of Medicine Universitas Indonesia in collaboration with Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia to support the Ministry of Health's program aiming for a long-lived and healthy elderly population. The two researched locations have contrasting geography and climate. Miduana hamlet represents a mountainous region, while Gili Iyang Island represents a coastal region. Gili Iyang Island is located east of Madura Island, specifically in the Sepudi Strait. Gili Iyang is part of Dungkek District, Sumnep, East Java. It spans an area of 9.15 square kilometers and comprises two villages, Banras and Bangkamera. Banras village sits at an elevation of 37 meters above sea level with an area of 5.15 square kilometers. Bangkamera village is situated at 32.75 meters above sea level with an area of 4 square kilometers. To reach the location, you need to take a sea journey from Dungkek Harbor using a boat with a distance of 2.41 nautical miles and takes 30 to 45 minutes. Miduana hamlet is part of Balagid village in Naringal district, Cianjur Regency, West Java. This 1,041-hectare village is characterized by plateaus, hills, and steep mountains at an altitude of 700 to 1,400 meters above sea level with a temperature ranging from 18 to 25 degrees Celsius. Miduana was established as a traditional village by the West Java Tourism and Culture Office. The pre-survey was the initial activity conducted at the research site by all research team, ERIA and Ministry of Health. The pre-survey involved introductions and coordination with the health office of the regions, local health workers and community leaders, as well as posyandu cadres. It aimed to gather information regarding the elderly population and made arrangement plans for the main survey. The entire field team included enumerators and nutritionists. They received training before the main data collection in the field. Training also included both qualitative and quantitative methods to enhance their skills. Research permit documents consisted of ethical approval, letter of support from Ministry of Health, and research permit from the regional government. Pre-testing was conducted to test and evaluate standard operating procedures of qualitative and quantitative data collection before the main survey. Pre-testing activities took place in Romben Guna village, Dungkek district, and Sukabakti village, Naringal district, for Gili Iyang and Miduana regions respectively. The main survey included pre-listing activities, age validation, and data collection through in-depth interviews with elderly, caregivers, health workers, local leaders, and posyandu cadres. And focus group discussion consisted of 5 to 6 people. The food intake of elderly participants was measured using a 24-hour multiple-pass food recall and a semi-quantitative food frequency questionnaire to assess eating patterns and nutritional adequacy. Food photo books and food models were used to assist the elderly in determining the quantity of the food they ate accurately. Anthropometric measurements were taken to evaluate the nutritional status of elderly participants. Observations were carried out on individuals over 100 years old to gain a deeper understanding of their daily lives, living environment, and overall surroundings of Gili Iyang Island and Balagid village. Elderly informants in Miduana and Gili Iyang were counted to be a total of 79 elderly aged 71 to 108 years, consisted of 48 women and 31 men, with higher proportion on the greater than or equal to 80 years old group. In Gili Iyang, most elderly did not receive formal education. Elderly informants in Miduana attended primary school, although more elderly did not finish their formal education. The majority of elderly still carry out their profession, mostly as breeders. The elderly who no longer undertake their professions still engage in activities without economic goals. There were more elderly living together with their families compared to those living alone. BMI knee height value of the elderly in Miduana and Gili Iyang was classified as underweight based on the balanced nutrition guidelines. Based on MNASF screening, almost all elderly informants in both regions were at risk of malnutrition. Elderly in both regions has an average mid-upper arm circumference of less than 23 centimeters, which indicates a lack of muscle tissue and chronic energy deficiency. Almost all of macronutrient adequacies of the elderly in both regions were low compared to recommended dietary allowance, except carbohydrate adequacy of elderly in Gili Iyang. Elderly in both regions demonstrated an inadequate intake of almost all micronutrients, referring to recommended dietary allowance for Indonesian elderly. Elderly in Gili Iyang relied on fishes originating from the surrounding sea. The elderly reported corn rice as their most consumed staple food and morina leaves as the most frequently consumed vegetable. Most elderly informants in Miduana and Gili Iyang have high blood pressure, normal uric acid, normal random blood glucose levels, and experienced vision impairment ranging from mild to severe impairment. Based on qualitative study, the results showed specific characteristics of each region and similar positive factors of healthy aging found in both Miduana village and Gili Iyang Island. Those similar positive factors were physical activities since youth that made the elderly feel healthy. The elderly's independence in daily activities. Elderly claim no limitation in doing physical activity. Elderly perceive themselves as healthy, maintaining relationship and social activities with people around. And the elderly felt well taken care of and respected by those around them. Challenging factors for healthy aging in Gili Iyang and Miduana consisted of difficulties in fulfilling balanced nutritional intake due to the limited availability of other vegetables and animal protein, as well as elderly smoking habit. Regarding economic challenges, most elderly perceived that they were economically insecure and factors such as crop failure significantly affected their financial stability. Other challenges come from supporting infrastructures, including the need for safe infrastructure for the elderly, and the local community's habit of littering. In partnership with the National Innovation Research Agency, our research team performed environmental quality testing. This included assessment of indoor and outdoor air quality, evaluation of the quality of drinking water sources for the elderly, and examination of soil quality in which the food consumed by the elderly was grown. After 2 months of data collection in the field, the research team convened a meeting with local leaders to close data collection activities and express gratitude to the local leaders, representatives from each health center, village health workers who supported the series of field activities. The research team, along with the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Department of Ophthalmology, and Department of Nutrition, carry out community service activities. These activities include measuring blood pressure, checking uric acid and blood sugar levels, detecting visual impairment, as well as providing nutrition and health education. This was our way to express gratitude to the elderly at the end of the HALO Project research series in Gili Iyang Island and Miduana village.